Interesting difference I've noticed as well since, for example, the national, the 17s was when you were 17.
Yeah.
What's that? 4 years ago. Would have been about. You're 21, aren't you? So 4.
Yeah, roughly
4 years ago. Is that it's almost, and this kind of ties into the social media we talked about with all the like League of Ireland pages that are kind of promoting the league naturally, and it's almost like it's built a bit of a fire in the country for people actually following League of Ireland clubs. Like even myself from working in the National League as well, is that I've noticed I care more about it, or I'm more interested about it. Yeah, and that's great. Like if that's done that to us, it's done that to multiple people. So it's trying to build a football culture in the country, obviously, which is important. Yeah. So, and again, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a difference between the two. It's just added something different. I think which is fine. Like if there was only schoolboy football, it can get stagnant because there's no challenge. Whereas now, if you're in schoolboy football, you should see this as a challenge, not to berate and say it's got this X, Y, and Z wrong with it, but to look at what it does well and take from it, and what it doesn't do well, can you accommodate for that? Like, and that's so. Like you said, if there's gap years between the National League, like the 13s, 15s, like there's no 14s or 16s, as a schoolboy club, can you then accommodate for that gap? And that's your like niche nearly.
It's like everyone going towards the same direction. We all want a better national team. We all want to have a better footballing nation. Everyone should be singing off the same hymn sheet. You know? Everyone wants to be doing the same thing.
I think the biggest issue when it was first introduced, and especially when they brought down the 13s and 15s, is it was kind of pushed as a like you versus us.
There's no kind of competition. There's no same, like we're on the same path here. We all want to do better things for the kids. Like
it wasn't sold particularly well, and then people naturally were. When it's something this gets brought in and everyone's like, well, it seems like what's happened is they've come in and went, yous are all doing it wrong, we're going to fix it and put these two leagues in to make it better, whereas it shouldn't have been done like that. It needs to be cohesive, because we all want to make kids better at football if we're coaches, and to watch a better national team and to watch a better league, so that like imagine being able to every week just go watch a really really good professional league in your country and not having to go fly to England every week if you want to watch. Like, we need to have that here, and the way they sold it originally was kind of like a you versus, they created a you versus us mentality, which is just a terrible idea in my opinion. It should have been more cohesive, maybe inclusive. I don't know the best ways that could have been done, but to me that it just seemed like it was like we're coming in and then banning around the word elite and things like that. It just doesn't work at that point, especially with the 13s and 15s. I thought they could have dealt with that a bit better, but again, we're kind of still, naturally, because we're talking about the differences, we're kind of talking about the positives and negatives about, which is, I think, is fine. But yeah, that's another thing. It could have been introduced a lot smoother, maybe would be the word.
I think for the first time, I was just thinking that when you were speaking of when I was a kid, and I remember like being in around like the NDSL Academy and stuff, and Sporting Fingal were a thing at the time, and I hadn't a clue. I hadn't a clue what league they were playing in. I hadn't a clue what was going on, to be honest with you. Didn't know there was a League of Ireland. And up until I was like 16, 17, still hadn't really a clue. Now this is only a couple of years ago, and now all of a sudden I actively am checking results. I know the majority of the players in the league. I know exactly what's happening. And for now, once as a kid, they are seeing all this on Instagram, they're seeing it on telly for the first time, which is super. Like 11 and 12 year olds are watching clubs, they're supporting clubs, they're hopefully when COVID goes, they're going to games, and now they're going, and not just flying to England to watch Manchester United play, Liverpool play, they're going to their local club and going, I could play there one day. And now with that spine, with that alignment in the country, you can get that, and I think that's a really good thing. And then with that, it just builds more dedication, more drive. Everyone wants to do the one thing. Now you have it in your country. It could be your next, like in Tala, you've Tala Stadium there, that's one of the top teams in the country. And now you look at Dundalk, they're playing Arsenal in a couple of weeks. Like, what? Like, you have something there to aspire to. While a couple of years ago I didn't think you have that. Now, obviously, there's been some top teams down the years we wouldn't know so much about, because it was back in the day.
Culture.
Great. There was no culture. It was like a gap for a while, and now it's back. And I think people need to accept it and go with it. It's a really positive thing, and just get everyone aligned in the country to work towards a positive footballing nation. I think because there's great potential here. You look at the young players that are currently in the international.
Yeah, you were at a game yesterday. Many games over the weeks.
Unbelievable. Like the standard is in a really good situation at the moment. It just needs to be nurtured in the correct way, where everyone's on the same hymn sheet and everyone wants the positive things out of it. Like you were saying, it was introduced in a bad way, but give it time. forget about all these you versus us. It shouldn't be that. It should be everyone together looking to pull in the same direction. I think that's the most important thing.